Well, good afternoon, microbiology students, and welcome to the 2025 spring semester. Since we were unable to meet today, which is Monday, January 13th, I decided that I could easily do a syllabus lecture online so that you can view it. And then I thought I'd show you some of the things that you can do with the textbook that you are going to purchase. One other thing, I am sick and I do need to take some drinks from time to time, so please excuse that part. All right, so first I'll share the syllabus with you. And it's right here. All righty. Okay, so here we are, and I'm going to share the syllabus with you. This class is Introduction to Microbiology. It is a 3-credit hour course. We meet from 10 to 10:50 in the morning in the Science Center room 109. So it's the big room that you probably have like COE in. And then also your Google Classroom code for this class is 4FCYIT5. I sent you all invitations, I think even before Christmas or right after Christmas. So if you did not respond to that invitation by just clicking on it, I also emailed you, I think today, to remind you to do that. It will be on Google Classroom that I will post all of our PowerPoints. You should look at the stream for any messages that need to come to you. And then we'll point out a few other things as we move along in the syllabus. Okay, so my office is basically right across the hall from where we have class. Excuse me, which is room 115. My office hours are here. I'm usually available right after class until 1 o'clock on Mondays, and then again from 3 to 6. I teach an anatomy lab from 1 to 3. Tuesdays from 3 to 4 p.m., Thursdays from 12 to 1, and then Fridays from 10 to 11. If none of these hours work for you, just shoot me an email and we can always meet at a different time. Or we can also set up a virtual meeting as well, which is very easy to do. We just do it on Google Meet. And I would rather see you than just talking to you on the phone so that I can pick up on, facial cues to see if you're understanding what I'm talking about. Okay, so this book that we are going to be using is published by McGraw-Hill, and their learning platform is called Connect. We will be using Connect for all of the assignments that you will be doing throughout the semester, pretty much every single assignment. And then your grades, though, will be on Connect, but they will also be posted in Google Classroom because I've had some people who have had a little bit of trouble finding their grades otherwise. Once in a while for attendance, I might give some bonus points. They'll be recorded on Google Classroom as well. And then, as I said, any homework assignments will be done directly on Connect. I will put the results of your grade on Google Classroom. And then all of our exams are taken on the textbook site as well. It is imperative that you get that book this week. And there is information on Google Classroom about how to go about getting that. If you are in the Bethel Bookstore program, it is something that is covered by that. So you just need to go and order your books, follow the directions on ePortal, get your piece of paper with your code. It will ask you what class you want to be in, all of the directions for doing these things. As I said, there is a page about them in Google Classroom. We will have an exam on chapter 1 next Friday. So you need to have that book. You need to have completed the homework. All homeworks, as you will see when we go through the schedule, are due the night before the exam. Do not think that you're going to complete that first test and sign up for the textbook during that time. That happened last semester, and the students did not do well on that exam because they were too worried about trying to get into the book. If you have problems getting into the book, see me in lab and we'll get you squared away. Book is about $100. If you're buying it on your own, buy it through the McGraw-Hill website as directed for you to do on that sheet in Google Classroom, okay? We also have a lab associated with this class. As far as I could tell, everybody was registered for both the lecture and the lab portion. These are our major goals, and I'll just state them here so that you can see that throughout the semester, we will be working toward all of these goals, and not just one time and we're done. That thought is over with in your biology studies. You need to retain information that you get, especially those big ideas from other classes, so that you can use them in subsequent classes. That's like the reason behind us having a prerequisite for the course, okay? So by the end of this class, you should definitely be able to differentiate among different microorganisms that cause disease in humans. You should be able to demonstrate that you understand the properties of microorganisms that makes them friend or foes of humans. Also, we will explore the history of microbiology, past in the middle of the 1800s, all the way up until news that is current in the field. And we will talk about if people learned lessons from certain events, such as the pandemic, and other things as well. Okay. We're going to synthesize the material that we learn in microbiology with material that we have learned in other courses, and we will see where that information intersects. And then lastly, we will you will apply the information that you learn to analyze complex mechanisms of pathogenicity and the human immune system. So those are overarching goals, and all of those goals will be assessed. If I come down to this section 7, they are each listed here. They'll really be assessed by having our exams. Don't really have quizzes in this particular class, but we also will have homeworks that you will do that are associated with each of the chapters that we cover, okay? I think I've said enough about the fact that the book is required. You have to have it. There's no other way to get around that in this class. So you can get temporary access for the first 2 weeks, but after that, you need to pay for your access. And not having access to the book is not a valid excuse for late assignments. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so we're going to do all of these different things with our outcomes and assessments. We'll look at the calendar in a few minutes. What should you do to be successful in this class? That's a question that you should be asking yourself, okay? And that is going to require that you do work every day, okay? Sunday through Saturday. All I ask is you spend at least 30 minutes between doing homework assignment, reading, filling in your notes, maybe with things that you missed by looking at the textbook, The other thing too is that you have to read the textbook. There's no getting around that in a science class. And it's so important to read. And yet I know what a student's attention span is like. And attention spans usually last somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes for reading. And then it's time to stop. So we can't just go through, most of us, I certainly couldn't do it in college, and read an entire chapter, 3 hours in an afternoon and retain that information. So reading is part of your studying. Another part of your studying is, understanding all the meaning of all of the bolded terms in the textbook. The textbook also supplies other questions for you to go over. For those of you who are nursing majors, there are questions in the textbook that are samples of what it is that you will see on that exam that you have to take in order to pass your nursing boards. So there's a lot of information in the textbook to help you study. I can tell you this, you will not be successful in this class by going over your PowerPoints, okay, the night before, or even 2 days before. You will not be successful by looking at your notes. You won't be successful if you simply skim through the chapter summary. You need to get yourself involved with the material. You need to understand every word in a chapter that is assigned. We will not have time to go over every single concept. I will spend my time with you talking about things that are going to be new to you. So if this was information that you learned in chemistry, or if it's information that you learned in Biology 111, these are things that you need to know. Now, we will review macromolecules. I have an assignment for you to do this week on Friday, and it is extremely important that you do that, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, if any, during class. You should already know all of this stuff. But since I know that things sometimes get lost and we maybe didn't realize that we needed to remember them, I do have an extensive activity for you to do on Friday. Okay, so what else do we want to say? We will have in-person lectures. There will be days where we do active learning, where you will have a whole kind of unit that you work through during the class period that will require some reading on your part beforehand. And you need to do that in order to be successful in that type of learning environment. And those things will be graded as well. So just letting you know and giving you a heads up on that stuff. Okay, this is important right here. Biology 211 students will receive an F for non-attendance if you miss the class 12 or more times. That does not count university sanctioned events. If you have family emergencies or anything like that, yes, I would mark you as being absent, but 12 times is 3 weeks out of the semester. You should not be missing 12 of any single class, especially microbiology or any other science class, or you will not be successful. And the only person that you can really blame non-attendance on is yourself. All right, so if we move on from that part here, I grade on a 10-point scale. So that is very evident in this little thing here. Our final exam is, I'm going to need to change. Nope, that is right. It is Wednesday, April 3rd from 12:30 to 2:30 in our regular classroom. Okay. Do not make travel plans that are going to keep you away from finals week at Bethel University. I am not giving the final early. I am not giving the final late. Unless you have some kind of sanctioned event through the university, that is the only reason why you should be missing any final during final week, not just my final. And that comes to me from our vice president and dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, who clearly states that exam week is not a week off. Okay, so you need to remember that. You need to be present on campus to take your finals that week. All right. That being said, academic integrity is extremely important, and I take it seriously. If I think you've cheated, you're getting reported to the dean. If I think it happened a second time, you're getting an F. That's all there is to it. So do your own work. Do not use artificial intelligence to write answers for yourself. You need to do your own work. You need to cite the sources that you use, and you cannot, if I suspect cheating during any testing event or quizzing event, that will get reported to the dean. And as I said, if it happens the second time, you're out. Okay, and that is non-negotiable. Okay, and that goes over through all of this stuff. And again, you cannot miss exams unless you have a university sanctioned event. Missing exams will result in a 0. If you are sick, you need to let me know before the exam. If you are sick before 2 exams, I'm going to probably assume that you're not sick, you're just not prepared. So please, please make sure you are prepared for exams, thoroughly prepared for exams. And exams are going to be, only the first exam is on 1 chapter. We are not having chapter exams. This is college, people. Okay. You will have examinations that will cover at least 2 or more chapters in the book or topics that we talk about. Okay. I do believe that we have taken care of most of the things under outcome and assessment policy. Where do you find your homework and exams? We're going to show you that in a minute. You will go to the McGraw-Hill site Connect, and everything that you need is there. I have already planned it out through spring break, just in case we have some more snow activity or something like that. I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself where I had to go through the syllabus and reschedule absolutely everything. So that has to do with that. And then email etiquette. Oh boy. Look, if you're emailing me, say, Dear Dr. Willwall, write incomplete sentences, and I will return that hopefully in that same business day. If you email me after 5 p.m. on any day or on Fridays over the weekend, I may not get to it until Monday, or I might, but don't count on me getting to it before Monday or the next beginning. Unless, and this is just a habit that you really need to be very aware of, unless you and only you are replying directly to an email, compose a brand new one. Okay. Let's not be replying to all so that everyone knows that you have a doctor's appointment during class that day. All right. Be careful of that kind of stuff. Your future bosses will appreciate that as well. Do not use slang with me or texting lingo. I don't understand it. Okay. And do use a title, like I said, Dear Dr. Willwall. And I expect that you will write formal emails to me, not some kind of gibberish that I have to try to figure out what you need. Because you know what? I'm not going to do it. All righty. So let me see if there's anything else before we get to the schedule. If you have a documented disability, please let me know in private. sooner rather than later. Okay. And also, we have a commitment to our students in this statement here. Mental health is an enormous problem, and it has been since COVID. And I don't want anyone in this course to cause themselves harm. If you have feelings of hopelessness, depression, thinking about dying or suicide, talk to somebody. It doesn't need to be me. It can be me. Okay. I have 2 daughters who are not much older than you. And despite my coming off in this original or this first part of this thing as being a stickler about due dates and all that kind of stuff and cheating, which I am, I'm also compassionate. I'm a good listener. And if you need help with something and you don't know where else to turn, come and see me. I will get you to the right places. Okay. All righty. Oh, also too, here we do have Bethel's security phone number. If you have not done that already, put it in your cell phone. Okay. And then the other thing I skipped over at the top of the syllabus was my Google Voice. You can call me on Google Voice anytime you'd like to. The phone number is right here, 731-393-9 or 3, excuse me, 731-393-9229. That's that phone number. It's also on the schedule outside my door. It will ask you to identify yourself. And if I'm unavailable to pick up the phone, you can leave me a detailed message. I get it voice to text on my emails, so I can see very easily if you've called. And I will return your call and we'll set up a time to meet or do whatever it is that we need to do. But don't hesitate to use that phone number. And if you think, oh, I'll just use Dr. Willall's office phone number, it all comes to my Google Voice anyway. I've had them all forwarded there. So please, please use that phone number so that you can get a hold of me if you need to. All righty. So then if we go down to the schedule, it's, I spent a lot of time on this so that hopefully I've been very clear about my expectations of what you should read, okay, for each day or week, okay. If there isn't anything there, that just means continue reading what you've been reading, all right. We have our dates for our exams here, and then also it reminds you of when your homework is going to be due. And I believe that is wrong. I'll have to change that. Your homework is due on the 23rd. Okay. It's that way in Connect. I'll show you in a few minutes. Okay. Now, if we move along, you can see that we have a lot we're going to cover. We don't cover every chapter, but what we cover well. So we'll do chapters 1, 3, 5, 8, 10. And then we have spring break. Okay. And then we will fill in the rest of this as we get closer to spring break. And then we'll carry that out for the rest of the semester. Okay, so that's our syllabus here. It's still blank. Here's your final. Now it says on April 28th. I think that's right, not the 3rd. And that should have said May too. I had changed that. Sorry. Anyhow, we'll get all that straightened out. But you know, really where you need to go and see what's due is to Connect. So let's go do that right now. I'm going to close the syllabus. I think I can. Well, I'm not 100% sure if I can on that. But I should be able to hit stop sharing, I think. Well, we're just going to share our book. Where is the book? Ah, nope, that's not the book. Okay. Hold on. Let's stop that share. Okay. And now I'll share the book. Here it is. I don't know if I can. So I don't think you're seeing this part. Let's see. Well, I don't know if I can share the book. Let me try one more thing. Here. Right. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so we should now be sharing this screen right here, and it looks like it's working. Wonderful. Okay, so I had to log into my book as the instructor, but this is really kind of what yours is going to look like. We can go to the student view and see that, but just so you know as well, we have a registration link here, and your book looks like this one right here, Microbiology Fundamentals by Marjorie Cowan. We also will use some of these, but probably in lab, the microbiology relevancy modules. Some of them are really, really cool. So we will look at those in lab. So you basically get everything that you could possibly need for this course with $100. And it looks like we have some people who are already doing their homework. I can see here what people are doing. And we have a few students that are signed up for the book. Okay, looks like we have a total of 7 so far. And some of them are working on some of this already. Okay, so anyway, let's take you to the student view. Okay, so this is what you will see. So all of your homework assignments are listed here, okay? And you simply click on it, and it will take you to the assignment, and you hit begin. And this is the assignment for chapter 8. It tells you when it is due. It tells you about how much time it will take, okay? And how many concepts there are. Chapter 8 is a big chapter, so that one has 100 concepts. Most of them only have 80. And when they're talking about concepts, they're really just talking about questions, okay? So do you want to learn more before you start to answer? You can click reading, and it will take you right into the book. And that this is your book right here. So with every chapter, we have our authors right here. Marjorie Cowan, whom I've met. She's a very, very good microbiologist and an excellent teacher. And then her co-author, Heidi Smith, is here. And each one of these has, you can play these so that it kind of tells you what the most important things in this chapter are. Also, you can read it, okay? So they have a transcript here that will go on and tell you all of the different things that they are talking about in their video. The video is just another tool to use as you work through things. Now, if you want to exit an assignment, your assignments, you can go back and you can work on them. So that's not a problem. Mine says it's 0 complete and it's due in 63 days. I think I have plenty of time. So I'm just going to exit from that. All right. So those are all here and they're labeled as smart blocks. There's also things here that look like they're open books. That's your reading. So I've assigned all the chapters for you to read. So it's all you got to do is click over here and it will take you to the chapter. And boom, there you are. You can also open up the book other ways too. Okay, here's your table of contents over here. So let's say you only want to read right now about macromolecules, the superstructures of life. You click on that, boom, you're there. What about this over here? What if reading is hard for you? Click that. You may not like his voice, but it is another way that you can interact with the book. Say you have a long drive, plug it in and listen to it for a while. Anything that you can do to engage yourself in the microbiology material is going to make your experience that much better, and it'll make your grade better. So use all of these resources. Now, let me back out of here if I can. I think if I close this, it'll be okay. Yes, it is. Now, assignments. There's another place you can see things as well. If you go over here to menu, it's going to let you come down here and you can go to your calendar. And then you can see the things that you need to do. So this here is a reading assignment, okay? If we go back to our calendar, I just don't want to mess it up. So I'll go back into the calendar. Let's look at the month, okay? Here's your homework for chapter 1. That's the day it is due, but that doesn't mean that you can't start to work on it right now. Click, come over here. It'll tell you to begin and you click. Easy, okay? I have tried to make this as user-friendly as possible for you. And the other thing too is you can cheat on your homework. You can look up the answers. You should not get any less than a perfect score on your homework. However, it needs to be done on time. And that is 11:59 the night before the exam. There's absolutely no point in doing the homework after the exam. Why? Because you already took the exam. It's supposed to be a study help for you. Okay, let's see if there's anything else over here in the menu. There may be some things to do. Okay, right now it's reading. You can log out as well. You can also read the book by going to another place. You go to the instructor view for a second. Okay, so this is my place where I can look at your performance. I can see how people are progressing through assignments and things like that. And then if we go back to student view, I think that you can just read your book. Down here, click on it, and it takes you, well, right now it took us to chapter 6. I'm not sure why. You can always go right back to the beginning and start with your reading. Okay? And this is what you need to do, is you need to read and you need to be engaged. So as you're looking at your textbook and deciding, well, what should I read next? Okay. Okay, this takes us down to the bottom of there. So we can click on here and it takes us to our next section. And if we go to the next section, it says microbes, tiny but mighty. And then it goes through and it gives us all this information. And if we look, we have definitions. I'll bet you a lot of you don't know what a helminth is. So let's not skip over it. This is not a print book. We can click on it. And voila, we have a definition. Okay? A term that designates all parasitic worms. That is a helminth. Okay? And then you can click on images if you need to see them better. If you want to zoom, you can even zoom in. Oh my. Okay. We can do all of those different things. This is one of the figures that will be important in our first PowerPoint, etc. So I've really designed the course to be as user-friendly as possible. I find that this book is user-friendly. I also find that the way it's written is it's written in a simple way. When I say that, I'm saying it's very straightforward. However, if you don't know what a word means, you got to look it up. And if it's not one of those words you can click on, let's say it's a non-science word, go to, type it into your Google bar and get a definition. But don't skip over words you don't understand. Then you don't build a very extensive vocabulary. And we want you to have an extensive vocabulary. So that's all I'm going to say for today. I'll get this posted ASAP. And I look forward to meeting you all on Wednesday, knowing full well that you probably won't watch this until after Wednesday. So bye for now and have a nice afternoon.